This is such a bad day for my Wi-Fi here. This is why. This is why I'd rather do video because it's like it's terrible. Like I feel like I'm being jammed. I have to run a sensor to see if I'm being jammed somewhere. It's crazy. Now YouTube restarted. They don't like what I'm talking about, and then so somebody jams me. I don't know. It's like you know craziness here. I'm just watching the Wi-Fi here, and seeing if it's stable. Wi-Fi keeps going down. I'm building a bug detector, by the way. Devante. Yeah, I'm building a bug detector, so that's could it be? It's like who knows? Maybe they're outside. I got to check my surveillance camera. Somebody outside doing push back. Don't let them play with you. Oh God, it's just so now I got to go. Clean up this. It's terrible. Terrible. This is just so distraught. I don't know how far I can go here with. Never know unless you're checking. I'm gonna build. That's one of the things I'm building, is a bug detection device. So instead of buying one, I'm going to build it myself. So I have the yeah. I have. I think I have all the parts. I think I have all the parts. The VPN router is going to help because it's Wi-Fi. Something is interfering with my Wi-Fi. Thank you, Sharp Eagle. Yeah, somebody's interfering with my Wi-Fi. So this is extremely. It's still like jumping up and down here. I'm watching it. It's not steady. It's not steady. It's still dropping. It's not. Yeah. It's going down, up and down. It's like this. The Wi-Fi signal. I have to. There's a software called. Hold on. Actually, I will run the software. Let's do it on because I can't do one when I'm broadcasting, but we'll analyze it right now. I'm going to. I'm gonna run. Uh, I'm gonna run it. I can't even do it. It's asking me for. Maybe it's on my other device. Okay, let me test it on. Let me test it on a. I have the software, because I want to see what the interference is. I mean, if you're curious. I mean, if you're curious about it, then we probably all want to find out what the zuck is going on here, right? So let me see if it's installed on this computer. You can install it yourself. It's called Wi-Fi Analyzer. It's a free app, and then it has a spread spectrum thing. No, it's not installed on this device. Not installed on. It's not installed on the iPad. Let me try a different device here. Hold on a second. See if it's on this one. Next time I'm going to get ready and like leave it there so that when something happens, I quickly look and see, is somebody emitting a frequency next to me, and then it will actually tell me who it is. It will identify it, but I'm just not ready for that because I don't want to interrupt the broadcast. So I'm just it's wireless though. It's radio. The problem is radio related. It's not Wireshark related. It's radio. So I need promiscuous mode. Okay, and I don't have it loaded on here either. It's not on here. Yep, don't have the app here. But if I did, then I would, you know, I would be able to scan and see if there's any frequency showing up next to mine, and then I'll know which one it is. If it's a neighbor or whatever, the frequency will show up. I also have a radio detection devices like Blade RF. I have a Blade RF. I have a RTL SDR. So I can. It's just not something that I'm planning for because I'm here to just do a broadcast, and I'm not here to do techie things while I'm broadcasting. So your Wi-Fi extender signal always goes in and out. Seems to stop broadcasting every 5 minutes. That sounds like interference. Plug in, don't use the Wi-Fi. So interference, you can't block that. Yeah, yes, I can plug in. It's kind of far away though. So yes, if I need to, I may have to just next time, just zucking plug in, and evade this stupid Wi-Fi stuff. My only problem is it's kind of far away. It's far away. So yeah, I got to think about how to do it. If you keep that up, you're going to turn into a paranormal investigator. One time that happened was an earthquake. Hopefully not. Yeah. Yeah, it was a precursor. We had some interruption like this, and then the earthquake happened. So anyway, sorry for all this constant interruption here. Now my replay viewers are going to be so zucking confused because there's so many videos with the same title. And now I get to label them part 1, part 2, part 3 because we kept getting interrupted here. And there's no way to combine this all into one. So anyway, that's my plan is to give all of you an alternative to security. So I don't want to just do cybersecurity. I want to do physical security with this because I need it as well. And I'm going to be building these devices that I think you need and I need. I need it first. So it runs quite nicely. I'm going to tell you that my only problem with this right now that I have to tweak is a little bit oversensitive. So I don't want to get too many notifications. I want it to just send notifications, when there's a real threat. But it's a little sensitive right now, so I have to tweak it. Do you recommend I do not recommend ADT. I was on ADT for many years. I'm currently on Spectrum, and it's kind of a waste of money. I'd rather just have, me get alerted, and then from you get, because they have to call you anyway. This is the way that it functions for ADT. So you let's say you're in the house. And there's somebody tries to break in and the alarm goes off. So what happened? By the way those alarms work, you actually have to break in. They're already in the house. And then it alerts and rings at ADT or Spectrum, and then ADT will call you on your zucking phone and say, "We heard the alarm. Should we send the police?" No. Is there an actual person? They're not watching the cameras. They're just getting the notification at ADT. So then you actually, I don't know that because I don't put cameras from ADT, but they have a camera system from ADT. So that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. But then you have to answer your phone anyway. And by that amount of time, I could have called the police myself. So why do I need somebody to tell me that and call me to verify to do that? It's not exactly. It's a monthly fee that they're just raking in big bucks for no reason. You're just sitting there. It's like, What service are they providing? I'd rather have multiple people get the notifications on your phone, and then you can decide what you're going to do, because you can look and see what's happening. Look at the photos. You're going to get notification with some of the photos. Some you're going to get a small photo on your phone, but when you get home, you're going to see the record of everything in high resolution detail. Sounds like a guard dog would have done the same job. Guard dog can't talk to you and tell you what it sees, so you still need a camera. Guard dog is gonna bark, and it's gonna be another dog, sniffing around in the area. So you want to know if it's an actual person that you need to worry about. So, and I don't want fake or false alarms. I want it to be solid, and I don't want the people to be at my front door before I react. I want them I want my house to detect that they're approaching my house. If they're in the driveway, I don't need them to be at the door. I need to detect that they're at the driveway. At property line, I need to detect that somebody's on the property line before they get into the house. I want the alarm. I want my phone to be alerting me before. If you watch some bad guys, burglars and such, I have a lot of camera footage of burglars, and what they do first is they scope the house. My neighbor across the street was broken into 4 times, and the car robbed once, car stolen once. And I saw, in all of those cases, I saw how the burglars were operating. I could watch the video and see exactly what they do, how they scope the house, and how they go to the back door. And so, yeah, I want the alarm. If they're going to go to my backyard, I want my alarm to be already sounding quietly, so that I'm aware before they break in. Maybe I put a loudspeaker and say, I fucking know you're in the back. Zuck you. Get out of here, or I'm going to come out, even though you're elsewhere. Yeah, that's what as I'm thinking about this, it should be about perimeter security, not about security when they break in. That's what ADT does. They break your windows, they react. So like that. I don't want to be alerted when they break my windows. I want to be alerted when they're coming close to my windows. That's what I want to focus on perimeter security, but not in the zucking cloud where somebody can manipulate my devices and store my stuff in the cloud. Move out of the ghetto, eat Spanish. Yep. And I live in a nice area. Drones automatically fly and patrol your property is a new tech. Yes, how do you zucking charge it? You need strong glasses, hard to break. It doesn't matter, John. You can open any house. If you have an axe, crowbar, you can break anything. I'd like a laser beam to melt them before they reach my door. So bamboo, that's actually one of the things I was testing. I actually have the laser. Hey, Northern Rush showed up. I actually have a laser. Hire private Russian bodyguards. So, yeah, I was doing, this is one of the things we experimented with, was to do, and it actually worked. Do laser tripwire. So if anyone walks across, they trip the laser and it fires up. Here's the problem with the laser that I couldn't solve. The problem with the laser was it was overheating, because you're going to run the laser 24/7. So the laser is always on except when somebody steps in. So, it could guard a long line of property. You can guard, like, anybody crosses the front of your house in any kind of a way. That's what I wanted to do. If anybody crosses, a perimeter, that would ring. And then the problem was that the laser was overheating, because you're going to run it nonstop 24/7. So I couldn't solve that problem. Maybe there's going to be some, like, high high. I no, the laser worked. You tripped the laser and actually worked. It actually worked. I tried it. I actually tried it, but when we tried to prototype it, the problem was overheating. So I'm onto this. I'm doing radio transmitters and radio detectors and radar and all this. I'm doing all of this. So stop. Stop. What now? The best way to protect yourself is to use your social security number as your username and birth date as password. There you go. Huge C byte. Yeah. So anyway, this is my my reaction to Ring. Use heatsink for LED. Yeah, but you see, Donnie, the LED itself may burn because it's the intensity of the light 24/7. Are you going to Area 51? Are you part of the million men and women march to Area 51? But what if I don't know my social security as a password? So yeah, so the laser itself gets hot. Maybe there's some uh, the commercial lasers, will kind of the little ones they use for pointers, cheap ones. I don't know if they're. I don't think they're made to run 24/7. So I'd have to find something that actually runs a laser that runs 24/7. So the radar works just as well. So I said, well, radar, laser, but just stuff, just to tell you that I actually tried it. So my house is like a big electronic shop here. We're testing all this. I think drone's a great idea for home security and recharge itself. Devante, you don't need that. Why do you need a drone? You can have a iRobot. Do you know that they sell iRobots now uh, with a Raspberry Pi programming kit? You can program a Roomba iRobot as your security system, and it will charge itself. Roving. It's a roving security system. It can walk out and check outside, and the drones patrol your property. Yeah, you last you 10 minutes. Then what? Oh, I patrolled for 10 minutes and I got to recharge for 5 hours. Patrol for another 10 minutes and recharge for 5 hours. So yeah, no, not practical. The iRobot actually works. So anyway, that's the White House has pressure pads covering all the grass areas. They're buried 6 or so inches below the ground. How do you know this, Ross? Just like a state secret, and then somebody will say, "How do you know this?" and then come knocking on my door. Uh, Donnie, the ones I get are the same as the ones that you would use for Adafruit type projects. Although I didn't get it from Adafruit, but I have a stack of lasers, stack of them. I bought them in bulk. I thought I was gonna be in the laser business, and it didn't. By the way, you can use the lasers for listening into conversations. If you want to do that, you can spy on somebody by pointing a laser at their window and listen to their conversations. I'm sure Huge D Byte knows that. So if you don't know that tech, you can fire laser at a window, and handgun or shotgun for home protection, whatever you want, Devante. Yep, Huge D Byte. Yes. So yeah, you can. The other thing that, in case you're saying, "Oh, that's good," I'll look for a red dot on the window. Wrong, because they have infrared laser, so it's invisible. So they'll do an infrared laser on your window and listen to your conversations. So it's so hard to evade now. It's over. As usually Byte would say, it's over. Yes. So yes, they can do that. They can do that. In fact, they can fire up a tiny little drone, RFID, and stream RF to it, and it will actually reflect your voice. So they can actually do that. This is existing technology. They actually demonstrated that at DEF CON, the Hackers Conference. So you can have RFID. They can put RFID on a tiny insect. They can put somebody can come to your house and act like they're going to fix your plumbing, and then they stick a little RFID behind a picture frame, and then they send RF signals to it. It will actually reflect your voice. I mean, some crazy stuff out there that you don't need three-letter agencies to do this. They can actually do this now. Yeah, they'll just call him Old Grandpa Rob. It's over. Yes, it's over, according to Huge D Bite. But not that over. If somebody comes to my door, I want to be ready. If I don't want to, somebody to break into my door and then I say, where's my weapon? I don't want that. I want, when somebody's approaching and I said, I see a bad guy coming in. I see a bad guy. He's about to approach my door. I see the bad guy before he even approaches the door. I want to know. I want to know. I can see people are in my office just by signal strength of a couple of Wi-Fi routers, not based on their devices. Yep. And their MAC address. You can identify them and say, "Oh, I've seen you before. I know your MAC address." Yes, that's what they do at Walmart. So I think a handgun is better. A shotgun, someone could struggle and take from you. Yes, but the shotgun is good in the sense that you don't blow away your neighbor. In theory, a shotgun wouldn't have the capacity to break into your neighbor's house. Joe, what's up, my friend? That will signal it is like a sixth sense. I was just Skynet. You was just Skynet. You are Skynet? 9mm can go through walls pretty easily. That's up to there. What? Yep, no, you missed it. It's not based on devices using Wi-Fi as radar. Oh, yes, UC Byte. Yes, I know that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They did a somebody did an experiment to see if they can use Wi-Fi as radar. Yes. I don't want an intestinator. A what? What the fuck does that mean? Intestinator? No, I know that. I know what you're talking about. It was a proof of concept on using Wi-Fi as radar. Yes. So yes, I am aware of that. Well, welcome to the Home Security Channel. That movie. The Terminator, not the Intestinator. Oh my gosh, Intestinator. Are you saying you're so young you don't know the Terminator movie? Come on. They wiped it because they're gonna do it. What the fuck? Anyway, so I'm kind of upset with way things are going, because although Northern Rush says it's about home security, it really is about privacy, because you want home security, but they're basically saying, we're going to give you home security, but we're going to take your privacy away for your home security. My reaction to that is, zuck you, Amazon. Zuck you. You are not going to steal my privacy. You're not going to destroy my privacy just so you can sell me a zucking security system. So you can listen into my conversations, see me in the cameras, and say, hey, I can sell you these products for cheap, so you're going to buy them, put them in every house. What the zuck? How am I going to know now? How am I going to go visit a friend's house? Because they have zucking Ring there. Think, guys, you're going to go visit somebody else's house, and they have Ring on the Zucking doorbell, and they forward your face with facial recognition to Zucking Amazon with your voice print. Zuck. It's like, I'm just going to stay at home. The ones I've seen are not charged by solar, but the ones I've seen are not charged by solar. But I suppose they could add that. Yes, hey, you have you happy with your antivirus? From now, I'm gonna moon the doors. There you go, Joe. Yeah. So can you imagine that? You go to. Oh, I like to see that, Joe. I like to see that. Can you imagine that you go to a friend's house? From the moment you're even approaching, the Zucking picture is being sent to Amazon, and they're not even doing a Zucking delivery, and then they and by the way, they'll know that the package was delivered because they're just going to say, "Oh, there's a ring there." So all they do is, how they send you pictures of the delivery. They don't have to send you pictures of the delivery. Spectrum, no. I don't use any Spectrum Zucking camera. I have a Spectrum security system, and I told them not to put a camera. Spectrum Zucks. They put their own Wi-Fi on there. I don't know what they put on there. It's a closed network. I don't know if they put a spy system on there or what it is they're putting on there. They put their own Zucking router in there. I don't trust them. So, I'll be happy when it gets taken out, when I get this all done. One of the best predictive Colossus. I remember that movie. An intestinator. Terminator, Joe. Terminator, not intestinator. Want to order one Zuckerburger, 2 extra large denomination fries on the side. Drive-through will start your usual order and change you based on license plate before Christmas. Intestinator, who's the best in for home cameras? Hopefully mine will be the safest for you, Devontae. This is a prototype, and we're building at you can hear the 3D. You can hear the 3D printer printing the case for this. It's going to be in a case. We're printing a custom case for this. So we're printing it right now. So that's a prototype. And then if it works, then we should be ready in August. We should be ready to sell in August. So anyway, that's the plan. And then coming up with all the other sub projects that part of this product series. So, and they will automatically give you notifications, and it'll be quite easy to use on the app. I'm already using the app. It's works very, very well, and just trying to keep adding more features in. Just keep trying to add more features in. Now, I heard in Seattle you can watch the UPS trucks going around the city all day on the internet. Drive through, yeah. So anyway, Northern Rush was hounding me all couple days about antivirus. So we'll talk about antivirus next, okay? For next half hour here. So Northern Rush here was constantly asking me about the antivirus. So the question is, what's up with that? Do you not watch my video on antivirus? And I don't know why this is how much the marketing is so ingrained in you that you all can't operate without understanding exactly what's going on, and you don't trust what I say when I say you do not need to ever buy an antivirus. You can't accept it. Can't accept it. Okay? Well, I was using antivirus since, the 90s. before. And so I'm very familiar with that. You know, when Peter Norton was still packaging his antivirus, and a lot has changed over the years. A lot has changed over the years, and now these antivirus software now come with surveillance system to you. So here's an example. How many of you have Macs? How many of you have Macs? So type of one of you have a Mac. A good number of you have a Mac. So come on, you can type a 1 if you have a Mac. A good number of you have a Mac. I know. Okay, a good number of you have a Mac. Now, for those of you who have a Mac, have you loaded Avast on it? Because, you know, free Mac software, Avast. Anybody load Avast on it? Type a 2 if you loaded Avast antivirus on your Mac. Because it's, you know, it's free. It's a free antivirus, so people actually say, oh yeah, free antivirus on my Mac, so I'm going to load Avast. So anybody here loaded a antivirus on a Mac? What's a Mac? You loaded Norton? Zuck. It's even worse. Okay, let me just tell you, for those of you who, okay. So, one of the free products on a Mac is Avast. Okay? So, a lot of people install it on a Mac because it's free. So try it. I installed, I demonstrated this. I installed Avast on my Mac. And the first thing that the Avast program does is modify your root certificate for HTTPS. So they actually inject their own root certificate on HTTPS. And basically, they become a man in the middle. Someone at Avast could theoretically filter out conversations or anything going on in HTTPS, like your bank login or whatever, and send that to Avast, because they have the zucking root certificate private key. I mean, that is so zucked up. So you actually think that having an antivirus is actually going to be good for you. That's an example, by the way. And by the way, this same routine is used in Kaspersky, Avast, all the Eastern European ones. Okay, use this. This called web scanning, or whatever term they use. It's called web scanning, which is actually man-in-the-middle software. Then the rest of them do this. They say, we're going to install a privileged listening program in the background, a daemon program in the background. It's called a daemon. And it runs in the background, and it will listen in to your email or anything that goes to your computer. And then if somebody sends an email with an attachment, before it goes to your email client, it's going to take the attachment and open it up in a privileged space inside the zucking operating system privileged space in the kernel area, open it up to try out and see if the virus is actually a virus. And if they find it's not a virus, they're going to say, okay, we'll let it through. Except this is the CIA proved that they can break that logic. That's because antivirus is overstepping their bounds into things that they really shouldn't be getting into. They really shouldn't be getting into that. The old antivirus from the old Peter Norton days was simple. All it did was read files in your hard drive every night or whenever, and if it spots something that looks like a virus, it's going to go quarantine it, and that was it. That's all it did. Well, guess what, guys? That's what Windows Defender does. Windows Defender is now the basic old Peter Norton style of antivirus, and it's all you zucking need, and you don't even need that, because the only one that's going to benefit from that is somebody else who got hacked. It prevents the spreading of viruses. It doesn't protect you. Doesn't protect you at all. Because Northern Russia says, oh, I got to have the utmost protection on my computer. And the best protection is to load up all the antivirus on here. And it's like, suck. You're actually opening a privileged space. If I can come up, which is easy, to come up with a virus that can overcome this privileged space, I can actually hack your sucking computer. But if I didn't have that antivirus, you couldn't do it. So the antivirus actually opens it up for you to have an opening for an outsider hacker to come in and hack your system. So the answer is, why do you need this? There's one thing that that malware needs in order to operate. It's simple, guys. Malware cannot load unless you have administrator rights. It's that fucking simple. That's why there's no malware on a Mac, and that's why there's no malware on Linux, or at least very minimal, because you have to purposely install something with permission. It cannot do that if you set up your computer right. Who needs a fucking virus if you're not logged in as admin? I mean, antivirus. It's not going to get anywhere if you're not the admin, because that's the thing that Microsoft should have been teaching people, is to default the sucking Windows to operate just like Linux, where you have to have root and sudo and all that before you can do anything. So that's all you need. If Linux can survive without an antivirus, how do you make Windows do the same thing? Easy. Set up 2 zucking users and do not give the user that you use any rights at all. Just a standard user. And put the admin rights to something in the background and that you only use when you're installing software and it prompts you for it. Otherwise, I don't use my computer is not does have no rights. You can hack me right now and good luck. What's going to happen? Northern Rush, what zucking happens to you if I load malware all the time. I do test my own system and load my own malware, and it's not going to install. It's going to be left in my downloads folder where I can see it. It's not going to install because I don't have any zucking rights to any other folder. I don't have the rights. It's not going to go anywhere. I can't write to the Windows folder. I can't replace an exe from Windows. There's nothing I can do except to force somebody to install it, and that will require social engineering, and I am not dumb. The only way to install a virus is social engineering, meaning they trick you and say, oh, this is your employment application. Click on this. Otherwise, you can't get a job. So you better click on it now. And you blindly say, oh, I do? I have to click on this? It's like, yep. If you can't detect that somebody's scamming you, yeah. Yes, we're from Microsoft Technical Support. There's a virus on your computer. This is Microsoft calling you. There's a virus on your computer, sir. If you pay us $99, we will take off the virus. Give us $99 and we'll take off the virus. And then, can we log into your computer now? So then they log into your computer and load the virus. And now you're already zocked. Northern Rush. Well, obviously that's what a virus would target. Isn't that obvious? It can't target that if you don't have any fucking admin rights. Period. Devante, yep. You know, that's like some people say, that some employers say, well, you need to go to LinkedIn to apply for a job at this company. My response to that is, fuck you. If you want me to go to LinkedIn and join LinkedIn to go Rice Girl, my friend. If you want me to go to seek employment at your office through LinkedIn, fuck you. I'm going to send it to you by paper. If you don't want it, that's your problem. Not going to go set up a LinkedIn account for other people to see it. No. and then lose your privacy forever and ever? Suck you. If you're that kind of employer, I shouldn't be working there. Fortunately, I've never had a need for an employer. Since I graduated from college, I've only had one employer. That was it. The rest of the time, I was my employer. I only had one job that I had to be employed by somebody else. The rest of the time, I employed myself. So, we need to pay Microsoft support with Tunes gift card. What? We will clean your computer, sir. It give you a Slurpee. Northern Rush, you are really so messed up in your thinking here. Like you're saying that your boot sector is your target. So I'm worried about the boot sector. Well, the only way that somebody's going to write to your boot sector is physical access to your device, or maybe a forced reboot that will run their program as its own OS and boot it and put your operating system online for a moment. So physical security. Use RAID and TPM to protect computer from viruses. Devante, again, it's so simple. So simple. No admin rights. My phone accent sounds Scottish. No, my technical support. No, that's Indian. Do you know about the? You don't know about that Indian scam, John? They don't do that in Australia. We're from Microsoft Technical Support. We're here to fix your computer. I have my friend from India, actually record that for me. It's funny. So make a admin and don't. Yes, Devante, do not use. When you watch my sucking video. I made a video last night about how to set up a new computer. Well, use that to set up your old computer. Not a guest account. You can't function with a guest account. Use a normal user account. Just got a robocall last week. They don't have robocalls in Australia before. This is new to you, robocalls. We get 10 an hour. With no, how will tech support syskey you? With no. So here's the thing. This is in my video. Don't virus use exploits to get root? Yes, hey, by doing social engineering. It's not going to go to root unless you load it. They're going to think, oh, you need to install this as supervised as admin. You need to do this as root or admin. You need to do this or you will not get the job. So, you cannot. I've tried. I know how to hack. Okay, and I'm telling you how to make it difficult for somebody like me to hack you. And I'm going to tell you right now that I have to trick you into. I can make a website that downloads. I tested it, works fine. I can go to a website, trigger it to put malware on your computer. I actually tested it and called it malware.exe just so there's no dispute. My little malware was actually nothing. It didn't do anything. It was just there for testing. But I can just show you that it will not be detected by an antivirus because it's a new format. They only detect what they've seen before. So this is the problem with you're not going to get a virus on your UEFI Northern Rush. You're not going to get it. Instead of saying, what do I do when I get it? You're not going to get it. If you follow what I'm talking about. Wouldn't even be a concern for you. 0 days are not known to an antivirus. 0 days are not known to an antivirus. So if I make my own 0 day, which is easy, uh, it's not going to detect it because this is the problem with most. This is the problem with most hackers. Most hackers are not hackers, Northern Rush. Most hackers are crackers. This is what antivirus is used for. Most hackers are crackers. Now, what is a cracker? A cracker doesn't actually know how to write viruses. They don't know how to write virus code. Maybe I have to teach them how. If you don't know how to write virus code, how do they send a virus? They sucking copy. That's all they do. Cut and paste. Cut and paste. They say, oh, look, somebody found a technique to go into, buffer overrun, and then send commands, and then it gives you a command prompt, this and that. Okay. Oh, they copy that code, and then they send it in the mail, send it in a package that you will click on or put it on a website, or package it in some app that you will download. So they don't know how to make a virus. This is why the antivirus companies can find these guys, because they use the same zucking code. They call it heuristics. They just find the piece of code that they use and find exactly what looks like that piece of code. And they'll say, oh, that's what you're trying to do, this piece of code. And the heuristics will spot it. That's what the antivirus can really do, which is nothing. It doesn't do anything. They say, I've seen that virus before. Well, if I write my own virus, the antivirus will not detect it. It will not detect it because I'm not going to write it the same as any other guy. So all I have to do is write a brand new virus my way. I don't have to go copy anything else. I know how to do that. So I can make a virus my way, and I will override your antivirus. But let me tell you something. I could write my virus day in, day out. And unless I can get an admin right. Hello, Claire Peters, my friend. So unless I can get admin rights to it, it can't persist. It will have minimal effect on your current session, and certainly when you reboot, it's gone. Okay? Now, there's some scary things you can do, hey. I mean, I'll tell you some of the things you can do. You can hide the virus in a JPEG file that's in your cache. I can put the virus in a JPEG file in the cache. It's not going to be detected by the antivirus. Then I write a second piece of code that looks for the cache. It looks for the cache, finds the file in question, extracts the code from there, and suddenly this virus that you downloaded, which does nothing, now got its payload from the JPEG file. Crackers. There you are again with your Sofa King thing. It's like, yes. So do you understand what I'm saying here? If I want to be so sophisticated, you're not going to know because, I'm going to hide the code somewhere where you're not going to see it. And it's going to be part of a photo. Okay, you download the photo. The virus is in the photo, and it's could be encrypted in there. And you don't know it's in there. Then I take it out and then extract it and then turn it into an actual virus, as long as I can get you to click on it. But then it has to now get admin rights to persist. So I have to make it go into Windows folder and all that. And that's going to be hard if you don't have an antivirus. The antivirus will make it easy because it gives you privileged rights. Okay, without an antivirus, I don't have an actual way would you like to try that? Hey, 24-hour, every piece of traffic, how do you actually detect? That's a big project. Yes, Northern Rush is possible, but it won't activate until an executable reads it. But it can be put into anything, graphics. The most innocuous, the most innocuous ways to hide a virus is in graphic. 'Cause it won't execute though. You need a secondary program to read it. How about this? How about this? It's a sophisticated virus. It will load and do nothing. Then they'll go to Twitter and extract the virus from Twitter or Facebook and bring it to your computer. How are you going to find out who that is? Okay, and then get command and control from Twitter, Facebook, some external app, some public app, Reddit. Just command and control by listening to innocuous messages on Twitter. Some of those supposed innocuous messages on Twitter are actually command and control. So I mean, if you understand what I'm saying, you're going to say, can an antivirus stop that? No fucking way. No zuck. I'm telling you right now that if I want to figure out a way to create a virus that is not trackable, that's very easy. Very easy. Won't be tracked by any antivirus. Guarantee. So that being the case, then why are you so concerned about the antivirus? The best way is to stop the malware from progressing, and the best way to do that is to not have an admin account. This is a funny chat room. Northern Rush, this is your first time in my chat. This is a daily thing in here. I used to broadcast every day, Northern Rush, live stream. But now I make videos and I do less live stream. So you can see, I'm telling you, don't worry about the antivirus. Worry more about setting up a non-admin user for your daily use. So on all of my computers, I do not use my admin account. So you can't really hack me. You have to trick me into clicking something, and because that's how I would do it as a hacker. And I'm not that dumb. I'm not that dumb. What cookie app did you recommend? It's called Privacy Badger. Privacy Badger. Or if you have my Brax Wi-Fi VPN router, it automatically blocks those anyway. My Privacy Badger does not block all third-party cookies. Privacy Badger looks for cookies that send data cross-domain, meaning it passes data from one website to another. That's the one that's scary. No, I don't mean Bytes VPN. I mean Bytes VPN router. The Raspberry Pi router. That's auto does that in the background, so you'll never get any tracking. Yes, it blocks tracking cookies. Correct. Hey. So what if you use Thunderbird on user account, but get thousands of emails a day? Many virus. It won't load, huge byte. That's why I use Thunderbird. It won't load because this is something that you ought to understand about, let's say, Windows Mail or Outlook. On Outlook it says do not load HTML, don't preload the file, and so on the emails. You have that ability on these emails, and you actually believe that, right? Oh, it says I don't have to load HTML, so it must not load HTML. Wrong. Fucking stupid stuff. Microsoft loads it in the background anyway. They just don't show it to you. They load the email in the background so that if somebody beaconed you, like a hacker, then it pings your computer. I can ping huge byte if I know his email address, which I don't. But if I did, I can ping huge byte and see where he's going all day. It's crazy. You can track his IP address all day. Just ping him every few minutes and give him spam mail that he will not open. He does not have to open it. Microsoft opens it for you. Apple opens it for you. Crazy stuff. So the answer is Thunderbird. It will not open it for you. Okay? It will not open it for you. Too many emails are required reading with HTML code that can be really read as plain ASCII. Yes, huge byte, but the HTML is loaded anyway in the background. I've tested it. They load the HTML in the background. Why? To give you perceived speed so that when you ask for HTML, it's available. So they don't load HTML on your screen to click on, but they load it in the background, which is enough to activate the beacon and reveal your IP address. Okay, it's one of the best ways to attack. It's in one of my videos. So easy way to attack somebody. If you want to know who somebody is, get their email address, ping them. Hello, Zakia. See, I can't even pronounce your name now. So you take a email address, you beacon them. Yeah, no, you don't like me anymore. You take an email address, you send a beacon, and chances are they're not going to be on. It's on one of my videos. It's live hackathon. I demonstrated it live. So no, you missed it again. That's not what I'm talking about. Too many emails are required reading with HTML code that can be reread as plain. That's a separate issue, huge byte. I'm just telling you that even if you converted something to text, if somebody forcibly sent you HTML, the HTML will be open anyway. So you can't control what somebody sends you. They can send you HTML all day. You don't get to reject it. Say, well, I only accept text. Well, it's not a choice. I'm going to send you HTML with a beacon on it. So you're ducked. So that's, and that's the way a virus would. First, I would phish you and do tracking and send you beacons and then get you to click on it. And then when you click on it, I can easily cause a file to download to your computer, and I can make the file, make you think that it's something you should be clicking on, and then that can then not contain any virus on it whatsoever, but it can load the virus from another file that is innocuous that could be in the vicinity, such as a JPEG file. Or I can also connect to the internet and download it because it has it can download something from the internet even through the command line. It's very easy for even a batch file to download a virus from the internet and load it on your computer. And your AV is not going to detect it. I'm saying is the amount of email I have to read, many of them are HTML plain ASCII. Setting in Thunderbird will not decipher what I need. So now I receive 1900. I'm vulnerable with no AV. You're more vulnerable with AV. Huge byte, you can use Windows Ducking Defender. That's it. Don't make yourself vulnerable by opening up a ducking port that can be accessed by hackers. Okay? Windows Defender will handle your ducking mail. And if you follow what you're not paying attention to me. If you are not an admin, nothing will happen anyway. If you're not the admin user, nothing is going to happen. I agree, but what to do when forced to open email? Not admin. If you're not admin, there will be no significant effect. AV runs as admin, and I'm going to use Windows terms, not root. Root is a Linux term. In Windows, the term is admin. They use batch over bash. You can use bash to connect and use curl, and you can also do it on Zucking Windows command line. You can run curl and connect elsewhere. You don't need any sophisticated code to do this. This is simple. Send a file over as a text file, rename it to bat file, and then cause them to click on it because you thought it was something else. And say, here, click on this file. This is your employment application. And you click on it because you're talking to an employer. You're going to click on it. AV rarely helps. Correct. That is correct. That is correct. I know of so many techniques to do this. There's so many of them. It doesn't take that. If you know how to program, there's so much you can do. If I can do something on my computer as a user using my mouse or keyboard. OpenAntivirus can do the same. Yes, but HTByte, you cannot write to the Windows folder. You cannot persist and replace paint.exe with a virus or change notepad.exe or change a DLL or one of those. You can't do that as a non-admin user. Can't do it. So about the best it's going to do is download the file and put it in your downloads folder. That's about it. Now, if you track what's in your download folder and you're not dumb, then usually you will be protected. And then you just watch my video, because the other thing you do is reset the computer. I always reset my computer. This is a normal thing with me. I don't keep any significant data on my computer. I always reset it to factory settings on a schedule. I'm not going to tell you what my schedule is, but I have a schedule. I say, oh, it's time. Or if I detect any kind of weird behavior on my computer, I reset the computer to factory. Supposed to be able but you and I know there may be Windows holes. You know what, HTByte, as somebody who can write these hacking code, I'm going to tell you, it's you have to do a lot of tricks to convince somebody. It's social engineering is the only way to get in. Social engineering. It's not going to happen. The virus cannot. This is just so you understand, HTByte, how it works. Nowadays, you have to send multiple files that separate out the code so they can't be detected. So you have to put the code, hide it in the JPEG file, or download pieces from the internet that don't mean anything until it's put together. Read files and assemble it on the spot, things like that. And then once you do that, you have to be an executable. It's pretty hard to do that if you do not have admin rights. I'm just telling you that it's difficult to do. I have to come up with a really believable trick for you to click on it. So believe it or not, sending a non-admin user will, unless you're really dumb and are easily fooled, if you have just a little bit of doubt in your mind, you're usually going to be safe with an admin user, non-admin user. If you're an admin user, you're not even going to know. If you're an admin user, I'm going to tell you, you're not even going to know. You're loading viruses left and right. As an admin user, you're not even going to detect it. You're just going to click on things. It's going to install in strange places, and you're docked. Now, as a non-admin user, it's going to prompt you for the user for the admin user and password, it will give you a little bit of a warning sign that you're actually trying to do something, and then you can use your head and say, did I really do this? Many of you will download things on the internet. Let's say you want to download, I'll give you an example. You want to download BitTorrent. So you want to download BitTorrent. Why? I don't know. Huge T-Byte likes BitTorrent. So you want to download BitTorrent. Well, they attach the virus to the BitTorrent. And then they make it part of the installation. But that has to be installed by an administrator. So, you made that choice. That's the way. That's not going to come from email. You have to actually make the choice that you will install the virus yourself. So just be careful. If you understand what you're doing, then it's not going to be an issue. Then if you make a mistake, reset. No big deal. Reset. Factory reset. Yeah, Donnie, a lot of people just search the internet for whatever it is they're looking for and click on the first thing they see. I don't do that. If I'm going to, let's say, I'll give you an example. Tor browser. So where do you get Tor browser? So some of you will just type Tor and then see the first thing, and here the link to the Tor browser, and download it as actually a honeypot from the CIA. No, I actually go to the website, go look at the HTTPS certificate and see if it's valid, and see if I'm actually going to the website in question. And then you have to do, hash checking to make sure the hash shows it hasn't been manipulated. So, missed my last comment. Hold on. No, I know you're helping to educate. I didn't need to comment on it. I thought you already made that clear to all. Yes. So yeah, Huge T-Byte should be an expert at all this. So first you must find out the correct file size. First you must find the correct file size and the hash. No, Mad Cow, because if it's not the correct file size, the hash will be wrong. So no, you don't need to find the correct file size. The hash itself will include the file size. So you don't need the file size to do the hash. You just need to do a hash check. It's really simple. You download some hash checking software, and if a site says this is the hash, you check the hash on the file you downloaded and compare it to what they say is the hash, and if it's correct, then it should work. So, what was the? Is that a? I can't even see that Twitter. Is that an R, an I? I'm going blind here. Or a T? Or you just accidentally type something. I'm just going to assume you just accidentally type something. So anyway, so back to the question of, what I'm telling you about antivirus. You heard of some downloads changing your default browser setting. Not gonna, again, just don't be the admin, and lot of things will get simplified in life. Life will be simple if you're not the admin. 90% of the things you got to worry about will disappear if you're not the admin. It's not, the solution is not the antivirus. The solution is habits. The second part of it is social engineering. You need to realize when somebody's trying to trick you. If anybody asks you for information like social security number, that should stop you. If anybody asks for what is your PIN number, these things should trigger alarm bells. Alarm bells. These are the natural alarm bells that will stop you from getting a virus. I don't I don't know if I ever got a virus because I always erased my computer. But there's no indication, that anyone's harmed me in any way over the years. Because again, even if my computer just slows down, I'm going to assume that there may be some malware, and I'll just reinstall. I don't need to think about it. I don't think twice about it. If my computer slows down, next day, done. Because that's the problem with some of these viruses. They need to operate, on the internet a lot. If my internet activity is jumping up and I'm not doing anything, my suspicion is a Windows update, which I can check, meaning Microsoft. If it's not that, I'm going to say, what the zuck is running in the background? And if it's a virus or somebody doing BitTorrent on my computer or anything like that, or doing Bitcoin mining, then reinstall quickly. I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to go reinstall. In my case, I keep all of my files in the cloud. That's really important. I don't really, in my secure cloud, not a normal cloud. I have secure servers. Do you look a bit first, then reinstall? Well, if there's any slowdown, John, why is it slow? Yes, I only look to see, if I can detect what it is. But if I see some strange process running, I'm going to say, Zoc, what's going on here? So, probably people's minds would be blown if we did an episode together. I know, huge debate, but you don't talk to me anymore. Daryl from Kentucky. Don't be down, Daryl. Don't be down, man. Don't be down. So I'm going to not be around. I won't be broadcasting tomorrow, but I will be back Sunday. And now that you give me the idea, I think I'm going to connect myself wired. That's a great idea. Connect to the internet wired. Then if I connect wired, then I won't have the zucking problem with the zucking Wi-Fi. That will solve the issue. Okay, I'm going to connect wired. So I have to kind of rewire my house here because the Wi-Fi is pretty far away. So I have to think about how to do that. But hopefully I do that, and then we won't have these issues with signal dropping. So anyway, I hope you don't buy Ring. Wait for me to release these products. So we're building the cases right now. It's not that simple. Get a long cable that somebody can trip on. Not that simple, John. I wish it was so simple. So don't buy any Ring products. No, not safe. Watch out for what I'm going to make available to you. And like I said, we're doing the packaging right now. So the software and everything already works. So, and I'm just, what does a normal person do when they feel this sad? You know what, Daryl? Talk to a friend. You can hide cable under a rug. Yes, but I have wood floors, John. Yes, so you hide it under a rug. What about the areas where there's no rug? It's a large room. This is a large room. It can fit a piano. It's a large room. The Wi-Fi is across on the other side. Does this mean someone will be climbing under your house? Thank you, Twitty. Thank you very much for everything you do for me. So, power line Ethernet. Yes, but I already use power line, so it's I can't. There's a little bit of a problem with power line to power line. You can't layer 3 sets of power. I have 2 sets of power line, 3 sets of power lines already. So it's a little bit complicated because you have to operate as a pair. And you can't put it on an extension. It's got to be straight to the wall. It doesn't work through like power strips. Power line doesn't work through power strips. I always wanted a small rat train to drag a small string through the walls. They have robots for that now, Mad Cow. Robots. Build your own Raspberry Pi robot that can crawl to the walls. Or Arduino. You can get a wedding runway rug. Cat 5 6. I'm not exactly understanding. John, you run the cable and it's up in the middle of the walkway and people will trip over it. Liability and will end my broadcast as somebody trips over a zucking wire. It's not a good long-term solution. Okay? Not a long-term solution. It's not going to work. So I got to come up with some other way and avoid the Wi-Fi. So I got to come up with another way to do that. So, so some sort of readjusting how the power line works. Yeah, I got to think about it. It's a little complicated here. It's not that simple because there's other things connected to it. So there's other things connected to the Wi-Fi router itself, and that's the issue. So I can't just move the Wi-Fi router because it's uh, connected to Xboxes and things like that. Okay, the insurance doesn't cover long Ethernet cables across the floor. You know, John must not have like. I like the idea of having an Ethernet port in every room. Yeah, but we don't wire homes like that anymore, John. Ethernet is not. I did not wire my house for Ethernet, so it's not easily accessible. I mean, it's not easily accessible. These are older homes that don't have that kind of access. Byte VPN guys, you be happy. Thank you, Donnie. Get Bytes VPN, you will be happy. Uh, Bytes VPN gets a good reputation because everyone who's gotten one has renewed a year later. So the only one that did not renew is somebody who died. So that's a pretty good sign, right? Pretty good sign. VPN renewal after a year. You have all the choices of all the VPNs, and people are coming to me. So because it's good, it's really an excellent VPN. Maybe just switch rooms to a new studio. John, I wish I were so rich that I could do that. But California, we have small homes. Or rephrasing, West LA has small homes, unless you're a movie star. Only the movie, a reasonable size home here that would fit in some other part of the country would be, many, many millions. So, we don't get that choice here. So homes are very expensive here in a standard size. Standard size homes here are very, very expensive. Someday I'll be rich enough to afford internet privacy. Yeah. Thank you, guys. So exactly, I just get a new tent add-on. There you go. So anyway, I won't be around tomorrow, and I'll see you guys on Sunday. Sunday, okay? So sorry for all the interruptions on the Wi-Fi. I think we have a solution coming here, so that we won't get any more interruptions. I built. There you go. Okay. Good night, guys.